You threatened to rip out my tongue and put me in a wheelchair.
I was upset.
M3GAN's back. The doll has range. I mean, my favorite thing about her is she has a clear understanding of pop culture, but I'm so curious, like in world, how much was she studying in between time? Because I had a moment where I was like, is she watching Tom Cruise do all these insane stunts and then trying them herself?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's the thing. She hasn't really gone away. So, you know, she's been there, she's been watching, she's been in the digital ether, like accumulating knowledge and just biding her time.
Yeah, so just she's aware that she's an ally.
Yeah. That she's kind of been forsaken, and she hasn't had she hasn't been given the opportunity to prove that there's more to her than just being a killer doll.
She was like, okay, I'm an ally online. I'm going to be an ally to these people this time around. I get it. Okay, if the first M3GAN was more horror, this one's a little more thriller, action, espionage. What made you kind of lean into that change, which I think is really exciting? And then I have a second part of the question. Well,
it felt like, you know, when you think about that, it was kind of absurd in a way that the technology behind M3GAN could exist within a toy company. But if it did, it just felt like, well, people would be wanting to get their hands on that technology. You know, the world's in a race right now to be the first to kind of get to AGI, and if people are thinking, well, that was M3GAN and this technology, what could we do? It just felt like, you know, the military could come knocking, other nations could come knocking. It just felt like it just felt like the story was going to go in this way that was much bigger and more global.
What genre would you love to tap into next? If there was like, would you like to see M3GAN go on a treasure hunt, a musical, a western?
Yeah, absolutely. Like an intrepid Indiana Jones adventure through the jungle. Yeah, wherever M3GAN is, you know, I'm along for the ride.
Do you have an idea?
No, you know, I think I put all the ideas I have into this movie, and I just don't ever think about. I'm sure there will be more M3GANs, but I put every single idea I had, you know, into this movie. Yeah, we pack a lot in.
Yeah, it's interesting how you're talking about people talking about AI, because when the first movie came out, I was like, oh yeah, it's crazy, but doesn't seem super far out. And now people are like having full on like therapy relationships with ChatGPT. It's like interesting how much it's evolved. So how much are you looking at that? And I mean, because this one I think is more of a conversation about the dangers of AI, especially as a filmmaker. There's a lot of conversation about AI being used in film. Like, what is your current?
Yeah, so the first one was really a straight allegory on devices. Like M3GAN is essentially an iPad with legs, and we're, you know, as a parent, I was really concerned about how, you know, we were so freely giving these kids these devices without realizing that they're making a connection to this thing now. That you can't kind of untether. Whereas with this film, it was more broadly about AI and how obviously ChatGPT and other forms of AI and image generators have just kind of completely changed the game. And it is really concerning, it is worrying, but at the same time, there was this feeling of like, shit, this is too powerful to go away, it's going to be here. Maybe we need to figure out a way to work with it. Yeah. And that's really what the theme of this movie is about.
Absolutely. Well, you've proven you're great with the dolls, great with M3GAN, and now you're going over to Monster High next, and Mattel obviously nailed Barbie. What excites you most about that collaboration? And Monster High has a M3GAN doll.
Yes, that I've just found out about.
Okay.
I didn't realize. Yeah, and it's a really good one. It's really cool. I want one. But no, with Mattel and Monster High, they essentially just, you know, said they wanted me to have free reign to just reinterpret the characters as, you know, as I saw fit, and I did. I sort of thought about it and found a way into those characters, and it is a really rich world because, you know, I love horror. You know, I come from horror and comedy, and obviously, you know, M3GAN, you know, is more on the kind of sci-fi spectrum, but I just love all those gothic, you know, universal monster movie characters, and this felt like a way to kind of like play in that sandbox a little bit, and yeah, I've kind of come up with a take on it that I'm really excited about, but we're just in the early stages of that.
I want you to know I see you.